For God so loved the world, He gave His only Son, and whoever believes in Him shall not die but have eternal life. And it's for the love that He has for me. I am the reason He died on the tree. F is for forgiveness, and now I am free. E is to enjoy being in His company.
Hello, I'm really disappointed not to be doing Easter gardens on Good Friday this year. They are really good fun to make, and I'm hoping that this video is going to inspire you to have a go at home with what you've got at home. Normally we at church we use a seed tray like this, but this year you might want to have a look around your house or garden and see what you've got. I've got some old flower pots here that I think would work well. We could do some junk modelling, have fun with that. How about playing with your Lego and making an Easter garden? I think that would be really good fun. Or you could do paintings or drawings, paper plates, or all sorts of ideas online as well. So have a think as to what you've got and how you could make an Easter garden. Before you make your Easter garden, it's good to remember why we're making an Easter garden. It's to remind us of the different parts of the Easter story, starting with what happened on Good Friday. When Jesus and his friends had finished their goodbye meal, they walked to a garden to pray. That's where Jesus' enemies found him. The men had torches and clubs and sticks. They were very frightening. And right in front was Judas, who had been one of Jesus' friends. Judas crept up to Jesus and kissed him on the cheek. "This is the man you want," said Judas. "Arrest him." Jesus looked very sad. Jesus' friends were scared. Most of them ran away, but not Peter. He pulled out a sword and started swinging it about. "Put your sword away," said Jesus. "This is not the time for fighting. I have to go with them. God wants me to." So they grabbed Jesus and dragged him before the religious leaders, the ones who were jealous of him. His trial took all night. "He says he will destroy our temple," said one man. "He says he's a king," said another. "He's a troublemaker," said one and all. None of this was true, of course, but it didn't matter, because the leaders had already made up their minds. Jesus was different from them. Jesus wouldn't do what they said, so Jesus would have to die. They beat Jesus. They hit him hard. Then they took away his clothes, put an old robe round his shoulders, and jammed a crown made of thorns on his head. And while the blood ran down his forehead, they called him names and made fun of him. "So you think you're a king?" they laughed. "Well, look at you now." Jesus never said a word. His body hurt, his heart was breaking, but he never said a word. They took a cross next, made of heavy wood, and they laid it on his back. "Move along," they shouted, and they led him through the city. Some people cried when they saw him. Others cheered, but all of them followed as he lugged that cross through the city gates and up a nearby hill. When they got to the top, they laid Jesus on the cross and nailed him to it. It hurt so much. Then they raised the cross so that everyone could see, and they left him there to die. A thief hanging next to him was afraid, but Jesus talked to him and helped him feel better. Jesus' mother was there too, standing in the crowd. So Jesus called to one of his friends. "Take care of her for me, will you, John? She's your mother now." But most of the faces in the crowd were not so kind. "You saved other people," someone laughed, "so why can't you save yourself?" Jesus knew why. It wasn't because his enemies had won, it was because God wanted him there to take away all the bad things anyone had ever done. Soon the sky grew dark and the earth shook. It was as if God's own heart was breaking, and then it happened. "It's done," Jesus whispered, and in the sadness and the dark, he died. And now for the next part of the story. It was very early. The birds were still in bed, and the sun had yet to open its bright eye on the world. The sky was grey and grainy, the air was cold, and some women walked slowly towards the graveyard. Jesus was buried there, and the women were coming to visit his grave. They talked in sad whispers, they cried, they held each other's hands. Jesus had been dead for 3 days, and they missed him very much. Just as they reached the graveyard, something very surprising started to happen. The ground began to shake. The air began to tremble, and quick as lightning, an angel appeared and rolled the stone away from in front of the tomb. "Don't be afraid," the angel said. "Come and see. The tomb is empty. Jesus is alive." Arm in arm, the women crept past the angel and into the tomb. The sheets were still there, the sheets they had wrapped round his dead body. But Jesus himself was gone. "Where is he?" asked the women. "What have you done with him?" "I told you," smiled the angel. "He's not dead anymore. He's come back to life, and he wants you to tell all of his friends." The women looked at each other. They didn't know whether to laugh or cry. They could hardly believe it. That is, until they hurried out of the tomb and ran straight into Jesus. "Oh, Jesus," they cried. "It's true. You are alive." And they fell at his feet amazed. "There's no need to be afraid anymore," he said. "God has made everything all right. But I have a job for you. I want you to tell the rest of my friends that I'm alive. Tell them I will meet them on the seashore in Galilee where this all began." Jesus and the women said goodbye, and the women hurried off to Jerusalem. The birds were singing now. The sun's bright eye was wide awake, and they had the most amazing story to tell. So I'm going to show you how to make a stick cross. Parents obviously will need to supervise if you've got children. The first thing you're going to need to do is cut 2 lengths, one shorter than the other, and then you want to put the shorter one like this so that it looks like a cross, and then starting in the middle of your string you want to go round in one direction, catching both sticks, and then you need to leave a tail and then switch to the other piece go in the opposite direction, go round and round and round, again leaving a tail, and then tie it off. And cut the ends off. You can also use straws or cocktail sticks, lollipop sticks, bamboo skewers. Just think creatively as to what you could use to make your cross. So the Easter garden reminds us of the Easter story, so we need to have the key parts of the Easter story in. So obviously on Good Friday we remember that Jesus died on the cross, so we need to have our cross, and he was buried in a tomb, so you need something to be your tomb, and then a large stone was used to block the entrance, so we need a large stone. Or if you're doing a different kind of Easter garden, maybe you could use some cardboard or something else. So this is the kind of Easter garden that we make at church on Good Friday, and the first thing I'm going to do is get some stones so that I can keep the cross in place. And the stones just to help secure the cross in place. There's the tomb, you can put some compost over it if you like. There's the big stone to go in front of it. And then it's about decorating the garden. Now at church we used flowers from the garden and greenery to make it look garden-like. And we also use pebbles to create a little pathway. And then we use moss to decorate it. But there are some other ideas that you can use. You can use some seed, and you can leave it just like this, and you can plant some cress seed or some grass seed. That works really nicely. Or if you've got some plants at home, like I have, I've got some pansies here, you can just plant some little plants in your garden, and then you'll get to enjoy it for weeks and weeks. I've also seen wildflower seeds used. That also looks quite nice. So there's very quickly how to make an Easter garden with bits from the garden. So, junk modelling. I haven't done much junk modelling, but I had a go, and I found an old food tray and some yoghurt pots and an egg carton, and I used them with some card and some sellotape and some glue to have a go at making an Easter garden. So again, we've got the area for the cross, and I used some brown paper and stuck it over a yoghurt pot with a hole in the bottom to hold the cross in place. I cut the egg carton to bits, and I used some newspaper and some glue and again some sellotape, and made a little bit of a tomb. And then I had fun making trees and some grass, and then you could add some drawn flowers or some jewelled flowers around the garden, or little saucers with water in, and just some flower heads would look really pretty. Or use your Lego again. That's quite good fun. I'm sure you're much better at junk modelling than I am, and I really look forward to seeing your junk modelling models and your ideas. Just have fun. Bye for now.
God is love. He loves me and you, from the tips of our fingers all the way through. He girl and boy. It's true, and wants us all to love him too. And this is the real reason for the Easter season, that God for us has so much love, that he sent Jesus from above. Jesus told his friends that they would go to Jerusalem that day. You'll find a donkey over that way, and everyone will cheer. Hooray!
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 Hooray! They found a place to have a rest, sharing food the friends loved best. When you share this bread and wine, remember me and know you're mine. Jesus knew the dreadful day, so took them up on the hill to pray. Jesus knelt and prayed to God, but his friends went
Nod,
nod, nod. They woke up with a marching sound. Stomp, 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 big feet on the ground. It was the soldiers coming for him.
We want the one who is the king.
The friends all stood, then ran away. Ah! The soldiers took their king away. He'd done nothing wrong, nothing bad, but they hurt him very much, and it was very sad. They put him on the cross to die, the King of love to crucify. Lord Jesus took our guilt and pain. The wrong we do, he broke that chain. When he was dead, they took him down, perfumed and wrapped him round and round. They put him in a fresh new grave and sealed the tomb with soldiers brave. Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Mary went to perfume some more. And when she got there, the tomb had been opened. Mary went to perfume some more, but only rags found on the floor.
Why look for Jesus among the dead? He's not here. He's alive instead.
Mary ran to tell each friend that Jesus' life truly has no end. The friends met up. And he was there, Jesus, the answer to their every prayer. They found a place to have a rest, sharing food the friends loved best. When you share this bread and wine, remember me and know you're mine. Then one day he said, I must fly, and they walked up their hill. he went up to the sky. Then one day he said, I must fly. They walked up their hill and he went up to the sky. He'll come back down in that same way for those that love him one fine day. And this is the real reason for the Easter season, that God for us has so much love, that he sent Jesus from above.
For God so loved the world, he gave his only Son, and whoever believes in him shall not die but have eternal life. And it's for the love that he has for me. I am the reason he died on the tree. F is for forgiveness,